Certainly, below is a full speech titled No Friends, No Issue, written in the calm, wise, spiritually uplifting style inspired by Mufti Menk, without naming or referring to him. My beloved brothers and sisters, too often, when we find ourselves alone, when no one calls, no one visits, and no one checks in, we begin to question our worth. We begin to ask, did I fail? Am I not good enough? What is wrong with me? And that whisper of shaitan starts to creep in. You're unwanted, you're forgotten, you're nothing. But I want to remind you with love and clarity, loneliness is not a sign of failure. It is not a punishment. It is not proof that your life is falling apart. Rather, it may be the greatest mercy in disguise. You see, in a world that is constantly shouting, constantly distracting, constantly pulling your attention in every direction, sometimes Allah grants you silence. Not to break you, but to bring you back to yourself, to strip away the noise so you can finally hear your soul, to detach you from people so you can reattach to your purpose. To remind you that your value does not come from how many friends you have, or how many people celebrate you, or how full your social life is. Some of the most important transformations happen in the most isolated moments. Think about it. When does the seed grow? When it's buried, when it's covered in darkness, when no one sees its progress, when it's underground, seemingly forgotten, but it's not dead, it's developing. The roots are forming, strength is being built, and when the time is right, it pushes through the soil, not because people were watching, but because growth was always written for it. That's how your soul grows too. Maybe you're in a season where Allah wants to strengthen your heart, cleanse your intentions, break your dependence on people, teach you to stand with Him, even if no one else stands beside you. So don't measure your worth by the number of phone calls, invitations, or friends who show up. Some people are surrounded by crowds, yet feel completely empty, while others, alone in their room with sincere dua and tears on their sajda, are filled with light that reaches the heavens. And sometimes when you're alone, you finally start to see who you truly are. Without the masks, without the expectations, without the need to please anyone but Allah, that is where real growth begins. My dear brothers and sisters, there comes a time in life when even the people you thought would never leave. Do the ones who promised to stand by you vanish without a trace? The friends you trusted disappear during your lowest moments, and sometimes even family, the people who share your blood, feel distant, uninterested, or unavailable. And in that pain your heart begins to sink. You ask yourself, why is everyone leaving me? What did I do wrong? It's easy to feel abandoned, forgotten, unloved, but let me remind you with certainty and comfort, even if every person in your life were to walk away, Allah never would. Never, not for a moment, not for a breath, not even when you've made mistakes, not even when you've failed to pray on time, or when you've been distant from your deen. People leave when you slip, but Allah remains, calling you gently back again and again. He is Al-Wadud, the most loving. His love for you is not based on your perfection, it's based on His mercy. His closeness to you is not earned by popularity, it's secured through your sincerity. He is with you in the crowd, and He is with you in the silence. He is with you when you laugh, and when the tears won't stop flowing. People may leave you because of your flaws, but Allah stays with you through them, guiding you patiently, cleansing you with hardship, teaching you lessons wrapped in discomfort. Sometimes He removes people from your life, not because you are unworthy, but because you were relying on them more than you were relying on Him. He takes them away so that you finally lift your eyes to the sky and remember the one who never left. Look at your life, reflect honestly. How many times did someone disappoint you? But Allah replaced that loss with something better. How many times were you left in darkness? But it was in that darkness that your duas became real again. It's often when we feel the most alone that we rediscover our need for our Creator, and in that moment, the illusion falls away. You realize it was never them sustaining you, it was always Him. He listens when the world is too busy. He responds when no one else answers. He forgives when others hold grudges. He understands your silence. He sees the tears that never fall. He knows the heaviness that you cannot put into words, and even when you don't know what to say in your dua, He knows what your heart is crying for. Allah is not like people. He doesn't leave you on read. He doesn't grow tired of your repetition. He doesn't compare you to others or get bored of your pain. He is there when you're strong, and He's there when you're broken, especially when you're broken. So when people walk away, don't panic, don't chase, don't crumble, turn inward, fall into sujood, whisper into the earth, and the Lord of the heavens will hear you. He has always been there, waiting for you to notice. My beloved brothers and sisters, in today's world, we've come to measure connection by numbers. How many followers do you have? How many people showed up for your event? How many likes did your post receive? How many people messaged you this week? But let me ask you something deeper. How many of them would pray for you when you're not around? How many of them remind you of Allah when your heart is drifting? How many of them would stand by you, not in your success, but in your hardship, your silence, your lowest moment? The reality is, not all company is good company, and more doesn't always mean better. One sincere, loyal, God-conscious friend is more valuable than 100 companions who make you laugh, but never help you rise. One voice that corrects you lovingly is better than a crowd that cheers you toward destruction. Allah doesn't ask how many people you entertained. He looks at your heart, and He looks at the impact of your relationships. Did they bring you closer to Him, or did they pull you further away? Sometimes we crave companionship so much that we ignore the cost. We ignore the energy it drains. We ignore the way it makes us compromise parts of our faith, our boundaries, our peace, just to feel accepted. But what value is a friendship that forces you to become someone you're not? What kind of bond is it if you feel lonelier with them than you do without? A true friend is not just someone who keeps you company. A true friend is someone who guards your soul. They speak truth to you even when it's uncomfortable. They pray for you even when you don't ask. They remind you through their words and actions that Jannah is real and this life is temporary. They love you not for who you pretend to be, but for the sincerity in your character and the light in your deen. That kind of friendship may be rare, it may not come often, and it may never come in a crowd. But when it does, you'll know it, because there will be peace in their presence, not just laughter, not just fun, but peace, the kind that doesn't disappear when the day is over. And until Allah sends someone like that, it's better to walk alone upon truth than to be surrounded by people whose path leads away from Him. There's wisdom in the Prophet having a few loyal companions who transformed the world, not a crowd of superficial followers. There's a reason the Quran emphasizes sincerity over popularity, because truth is heavy. And not everyone wants to carry it with you, but those who do, those who stay even when the world walks away, are treasures beyond measure. My dear brothers and sisters, in a world that constantly demands your attention, through notifications, conversations, noise, and endless scrolling, silence feels strange, even uncomfortable, and solitude. It's often misunderstood. People say things like, "Why are you so quiet?" or "Are you okay?" as if being alone and being at peace are signs of something wrong. But sometimes silence is not weakness, it's wisdom. And solitude is not sadness, it's strength, because there are moments when Allah places you in isolation, not to punish you, but to elevate you. Some of the most powerful moments in a believer's life don't happen in front of a crowd. They happen in stillness, in quiet places, in the depths of the night, with your forehead on the ground, whispering to your Lord where no one else can hear. No applause, no attention, no distractions. Just you and the one who created you. We often chase company to avoid facing ourselves. We stay busy to escape reflection. But growth doesn't happen in the noise. It happens in the stillness, when you're no longer performing for anyone. When you're no longer trying to be seen or validated, when the only audience left is Allah, that's when you begin to see who you truly are. That's when sincerity starts to rise. Look at the lives of the prophets. How many of them were granted deep clarity, deep connection, deep nearness to Allah in solitude. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad would retreat to the cave of Hira, alone, not for hours, but for days, reflecting, remembering, reconnecting, before the Quran was revealed to him, before he was sent to the world. He was given isolation so that his heart could be cleansed and prepared. That wasn't wasted time, that was divine preparation. Nabi Musa A.S. was called to Mount Sinai alone. Nabi Yusuf A.S. found Allah's nearness in the darkness of the prison isolated. Even Maryam A.S., the mother of Isa, withdrew to a secluded place when she was chosen for one of the greatest miracles in human history. What do all these stories tell us? That solitude is not emptiness. It is sacred space. Silence is not absence. It is the quiet in which revelation, guidance, and transformation descend. In silence, your doors become clearer, your thoughts settle, your soul breathes again. You hear what you were too busy to hear before, the whisper of your conscience, the pull of your purpose, the subtle presence of Allah guiding you softly, steadily. My beloved brothers and sisters, there are times in life when everything seems to pause. The calls stop, the messages slow down, the opportunities dry up, the doors that once opened easily now remain shut, and in that silence the heart begins to panic. You start asking, why is this happening? Why does it feel like everyone's moving forward while I'm just stuck? But what if this isn't punishment? What if it's preparation? You see, there is a difference between being abandoned and being set apart. There is a difference between being delayed and being developed. And sometimes Allah isolates you not because He has forgotten you, but because He is preparing you for something your current state cannot carry. We often think that progress must be visible, that it must be public, that we must constantly be doing, producing, achieving, sharing, but the greatest foundations are laid underground where no one sees them. The roots of a tree are not seen, but without them there is no stability. The work of the soul is similar. The silence you are in, the loneliness, the pause. This is where your roots are growing. When Allah loves you, He doesn't rush you. He takes His time with your heart. He removes the distractions. He shields you from people who might slow your growth. He pulls you away from noise so you can finally hear His voice clearly. That period of seclusion you're in, it's not empty, it's sacred. It's a spiritual training ground. Look at those whom Allah has chosen for greatness in the past. Every single one of them had a phase where they were hidden, quiet, unnoticed by the world. Yusuf A.S. was prepared through betrayal, slavery, and a prison cell. Musa A.S. was prepared in the desert, away from his people. Our beloved Prophet Muhammad was prepared in the cave. Far from the noise of Makkah, they were not forgotten, they were being formed. When you're being prepared, things may be stripped from you. People, comfort, certainty. You might lose the crowd, the praise, the position, but in that loss, something priceless is being built. Resilience, faith, clarity, reliance on Allah alone. There are certain elevations, certain responsibilities, certain blessings that you're not meant to receive until your heart has been strengthened enough to carry them. And sometimes Allah has to empty your hands before He places something greater in them. Sometimes He closes doors not to punish you, but to redirect you toward a path that will truly fulfill you, not just externally, but spiritually. And the delay is not a denial, it's a period of divine design. My beloved brothers and sisters, we live in a time where so many are desperately searching for someone to complete them, someone to understand them, someone to love them the way they haven't learned to love themselves. But here's a truth many overlook. You cannot expect others to fill a space in you that you haven't made peace with, because until you learn to sit with your own soul and be content, you will always feel incomplete, no matter who stands beside you. It's easy to assume that companionship will fix our restlessness, that a friend, a spouse, a group, anyone will quiet the noise inside. But the reality is, no one can give you the peace that only comes from within. No one can pour into you if your vessel is cracked. No one can love you in a way that makes you forget your own internal battle. Because real companionship isn't just about being with someone. It's about being whole enough to meet them with sincerity, not dependency. How can you offer love when you haven't healed your own wounds? How can you truly listen to another when your own thoughts are screaming for attention? How can you accept someone fully when you're still fighting to accept yourself? You see, the foundation of every meaningful relationship begins not with them, but with you. When you are at peace with who you are, your flaws, your past, your silence, your growth. Then companionship becomes a blessing, not a need. You are no longer seeking someone to complete you, but someone to walk beside you. You don't demand from others what only Allah can provide: validation, constant reassurance, inner calm. There's a certain dignity in knowing your worth without needing it to be echoed by the crowd. There's strength in the heart that finds its rest in hikr, not drama. There's beauty in the soul that has learned to enjoy solitude, not because it's isolated, but because it has found companionship in the presence of its Lord. When you're at peace with yourself, you don't fear being alone. You don't chase company for the sake of escaping your thoughts. You don't beg to be noticed or change yourself just to be liked. Instead, you attract those who see your light, not your noise. Those who are drawn to your contentment, not your performance, and those who walk beside you not because they complete your story, but because they honor the one you've already started writing with Allah at the center.